Okay, a video called The Great Escape. It's not what you might think it is. It's not about me leaving Ireland, although that really was a great escape. I'll give you a little bit of context, or maybe I'll set the scene first. This is how well I plan my videos. So I think many people watching this will, or listening to this, will, because these are now videos on Instagram, you can watch me, or on YouTube, or you can listen to them on podcasts. So many of us feel we don't fit in the world, you know, especially maybe younger years, teens, it's not uncommon, 20s, but spiritual people tend to struggle in the world, you know, and to varying degrees, to the degrees that many of us in previous times and lifetimes, you know, or even in this day and age, can find ourselves medicated, heavily medicated, institutionalized, not uncommon. I did myself. You know, my late teens, I was medicated, and I was in a lockup ward in a psychiatric hospital. Great times. Had all my meals prepared. But we struggle in the day-to-day world, you know. We often feel that we don't fit in. And as a result, you know, I've seen it many times. I'm gonna dive into the criticism here. There's a YouTube channel called, I think it's called The Higher Self. I had one of my articles on the higher self 2 or 3 years ago, and it was the most successful thing I ever did. It had like 110,000 views, and it was amazing. I just submitted this article, There's No Spoon, about the reflection in the mirror, and they put it up. But recently, a few weeks ago, The Higher Self, a video came up on my timeline on YouTube, and I haven't clicked on their stuff in a couple of years, and so I clicked on it, and while the video was playing, which I wasn't really paying any attention to, I went down to the comments, and comment after comment after comment, honest to God, was like, you know, when are they coming to save us? When are the ships coming? When is Archangel Michael? I need to get out of this place. I can't wait to ascend. It was depressing to read, but it really reminded me of how many people, spiritual people, are actually not ready yet to face themselves. They're still in escape mode, getting out, you know, QAnon. Like Joe Biden. I mean, people are giving their power and their lives to all of these, the aliens, Archangel Michael. There's so many of these gimmicks that people hope and beg and plead will come and save them, will take them out of their pain and out of the grief that they're in, you know, how they struggle to see the world. So they're another breed. There's a breed of people who are completely, potentially NPCs. You'll have to look back. There's another video, non-player characters, people who are potentially just actually not human, who are just robots, you know, Agent Smiths in the Matrix. Then we have these people watching the higher self who are desperately in pain and just want to be saved, right? Then we have people who are becoming more aware of who they are and what's going on here, and they're doing work on themselves. They're beginning to do deeper work. And I'm going to be critical as well. There's lots of spiritual work that is not deep work. That's fluffy, superficial. Like burning incense is fucking superficial. It smells nice. But it's, you know, or watching a fucking higher self, that's not spiritual work. Rubbing your crystal is not spiritual work. Turning your tarot deck is not spiritual work. It's not deep. We need to find a time. We need to arrive at a place where we're in enough fucking discomfort that I'm ready to go over the edge, go someplace new. Okay. So some of you are on that path, or maybe many of you. Good for you. But when I was 16, 17, I discovered Buddhism, and you know, I used to attend Buddhist meetings, and I went through a phase where I wanted to become a Buddhist monk. And I felt that that was my path, you know, to be up in the fucking monastery in Tibet or wherever. Kind of obviously romanticized. This is not real life. But very quickly, you know, even in those early days, very quickly, I got the message that no, I'm supposed to be in society. I'm supposed to be in the world, not fucking up in the mountains. And so we've people along this journey. So I went through the period of, you know, Thoreau and Walden, the book about Walden Pond, and living out in the sticks. And I can't think of the name of the book about Jean mentioned it to me recently. Chris McCardle's book, the movie made by Sean Penn about the guy who goes up. I can't remember the name, but if I remember, I'll stick it on screen. You know, who went to live out in the sticks and who died out in was it in the old bus? You know, and romanticized. And a lot of us resonate with this type of person. I'm just checking my timer. You know, of struggling in society. You know, we want to be out on the farm. We want to be in the hills. We want to be in the monastery, in the ashram. Life is easier when we're around less people and stress. Okay. So this is the purpose of this video. Some of us motherfuckers we're meant to be in society. We're carrying a frequency and a light, the lighthouse, the energy to be in the world. Opting out of the world is avoiding our work and our purpose and our path. Now, there can be a middle ground to that. You know, you live up in the hills and you can commute down and fucking teach meditation or whatever it may be. Do your shopping, communicate with people. You can have your online fucking whatever. But we're here to engage. We're carrying a frequency that the world requires. If we're desperate to get out of the world, it's our own grief and our own pain. And we're hoping, oh, if I can get over there, it'll be easier. And yes, it will. To a degree, but there's a phrase in AA, wherever you go, there you are. Now, I've traveled, you know, my early days, I traveled. I lived in Australia for a year, lived in London for a year, did all these things, brought all my fucking shit with me. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've been around, I don't go to AA anymore, Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm sober, but, you know, been around those rooms for years, and it's called geographicals. People who just move jobs, relationships, countries, different houses, trying to escape their own pain. Now, we're here to be in the world. You know, we're here to be, to meet people, to engage with people, to face that shit. Now, you know, 20 years ago when I wanted to be in the fucking mountains or in the monastery, I still do. I'm up a hill here and I'm overlooking the sea. It's fantastic, but I'm still engaging. I need to be around people. You know, when I was younger, I really thought I had convinced myself, oh, I'm an introvert. I'm not meant to be around people. Now, believe me, if you knew me a few years ago or many years ago, and even to today, I'm not a social person. Don't go to pubs or nightclubs. I'm not, you know, if there's a wedding on, I'll eat the food and I'll fucking go out for a walk and I'll engage with one or two people bit by bit. I'm not going to be in 300 people fucking jumping around and dancing. That isn't me. But there's a middle ground. The world is not black and white. It's gray or multicolored or something like that. So what I've learned, you know, especially over the last few years as I've integrated I continue to integrate my shadow and through this transition, is that I like being around people. I like people. All my life, you know, I would think I fucking hate people, fucking annoying, hate people. And it was because I hated myself. They were just showing me who I was. I don't fucking hate people. I don't even hate, dare I say it, politicians who were the pinnacle for me. The vaccine thing, the lockdown, doesn't affect me that much anymore, if at all. I don't really care. This is consciousness unfolding. This is God consciousness. How dare I, up on my fucking egoic high horse, think that there's something wrong here? That me, this fucking little man, could barely survive and lived in a car and fucking struggled. How dare I kind of think, oh, you know, God's fucked up and I'm going to show him, her how to do this. Consciousness has just made a mess of this. If only they'd listen to me. You know, it's fucking delusional. So I digress again. as I make more peace with me, you know, I genuinely, I have more compassion for people. I have more empathy for people. And I don't mean that in a condescending, judgmental way. It's because we're all struggling with it. We all want to be loved. We're all just trying to fucking survive. We're all just trying to communicate. Even the reactive or the angry or the politicians or the reptilians or the pedophile Joe Biden or any of these people, we're all just trying to fucking stay alive. And we're dealing with our and carrying our stuff. And as I meet more of me, I'm seeing me in them. So that's how I connect. It's like, oh, fuck, I do that too. Oh, I carry that frequency too. Oh, that's me. He's me. She's me. So yeah, the message I'm just trying to push across, I suppose, is you're needed in the world. You know, you're needed in traffic. You're needed in the cafe. You're needed to pass people in the street. To engage or to not engage, you're needed. You're wanted. Your frequency is relevant here. Me fucking timer. Your frequency is relevant here. You know, we chose to come here in this time. We chose to live in the countries we live in with the frequency, the dynamic, the lockdown, the vaccines. We chose to be here now. And we chose to integrate. If you're watching my videos or if you're working with me, you've chose to fucking meet yourself, integrate these aspects of yourself so that you can travel around in this world or in your community with this integrated frequency, which affects other people. Not to be locked away in the fucking Walden cabin or in the ashram, denying the engagement. You're denying yourself the love and interaction and relatedness with your reflection. You know, in meeting other people, you're meeting yourself, and there's a beauty in that. As we integrate ourselves, there's a great beauty. Before we integrate, we fucking hate people. We want to get away from them. But as we integrate, we realize they're fucking beautiful because they're just my heart. They're just me. They're just struggling with themselves just as I am. And to be able to bring that, incrementally bring that peace to the world, to other people. Now, I don't mean save people, heal people, rescue people, any of that bollocks. I just mean bring your energy, communicate, say good morning, say hello, buy a coffee, whatever it may be. Don't deny yourself. Don't deny yourself the engagement with your reflection with other people. And don't deny the world, or try not to deny the world, yourself, your light and your experience and your journey. It's not about being selective with some fucking commune of 6 people that you maybe fucking trust. I've heard countless stories of these, believe me. People who hate capitalism, want to get out of capitalist society because it's fucking evil and want to get, oh, life is too hard. Buying the land, escaping, and then end up fucking killing each other because they're all hippies bringing their fucking shadow with them. And eventually someone's too lazy, someone's doing all the work, and there's infighting. Wherever you go, there you are. Did I say that right? Wherever you go, there you are. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So yeah, please just contemplate this, that you're being in the world means that you get to encounter your reflection. You get an opportunity to evolve and expand. It's fantastic. It's a gift. You get constant feedback. Locking yourself away, you're denying yourself your feedback and your evolution. But also consider bringing your heart and pain and darkness to the world. It's highly beneficial to engage into the flow of consciousness. So if this video was of use, please consider sharing it with others. There's a link below to buy me a coffee. And thanks for listening. I hope it was helpful. Enjoy your day. Get out there. Let's engage and mix and see what happens. Be well.